Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation! Rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go! What is up, Man Hour Nation? Guys, welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Before we jump into today's action, guys, head over to manhourradio.com. This is where you find all the exclusive merchandise, so fresh with the Flushes blogs, everything's happening with the Man Hour show. So, guys, if you're rocking the Man Hour, that's a spot to rep it. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the share button, of course, subscribe to never miss a live interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged into us. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Big Skin Pundit. There's our members-only community where you get free entry into weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and bonus live stream that only the Big Skin Pundits get. So if you want the next level access, guys, join the squad today. Remember, guys, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below because I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions and your hottest of the hottest takes. But, guys, before we jump into today's action, we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got to welcome the Pigskin Pundit, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Jim Powell is in the chat. What is up, Jimmy? Hope you're having a good old day. We got my man John Peoples in the chat. Says, what is up, Man Hour Nation? Then we got my man Bruin Prod says Drake playoff May. What is up, the New England Patriots got the second overall seed. They most likely will go to the divisional round because, let's be honest, they're playing the LA Chargers. And the Chargers are, what, right? They're just it. Got my man Kenneth Askew in the chat. Says, I want to hear the excuses. Excuses for what? What excuses do you want to hear? You want to hear the excuses why I'm in my bedroom today and not out in the studio? There's no excuses. It's just the simple fact of the matter is the studio expansion is not done yet. That's why we're inside, and I got to keep it kind of low-key because the boys are outside, the wifey's out there. It is what it is. But, guys, before we jump into today's action, guys, there's been some breaking news across the NFL landscape. Of course, we got our rundowns happening, right? We going to talk about Kirk Cousins. We going to talk about Matt Eberflus. We going to talk about Tua. We going to talk about Lamar. But we got to talk about the elephant in the room right now, and that is John Harbaugh, guys, has officially just been fired within the last, 5-10 minutes or so. Actually, it's been more like a half hour now, maybe even an hour. But John Harbaugh is officially out in Baltimore after an 8-9 season, playoff losses. And I literally just got a text message of why he was, quote, fired was because he had a disagreement about offensive coordinator Todd Monken. I don't know, I didn't get a chance to read into it right before we went live. But basically, John Harbaugh was talking to general manager slash ownership, and there's some type of disagreement about Todd Monken, whether he wanted to keep him, let him go. I don't know. I did not read the story. But, guys, as you guys know, John Harbaugh has been fired. Now, I have been on the record. Matter of fact, I believe it was last Sunday night. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I said every coach in the AFC needs to be fired. That is Mike Tomlin. That is John Harbaugh. That was Zach Taylor. That was Kevin Stefanski. Fast forward 24, 48 hours, Kevin Stefanski, gone. Now John Harbaugh, gone. Now the Bengals have come out and said Zach Taylor is staying put. He's not going anywhere. And Mike Tomlin is to be determined still, right? But the truth of the matter is, guys, the question stands is where do the Baltimore Ravens go without John Harbaugh? Because in segment 3 or segment 4 today, I was going to talk about potentially Lamar Jackson on the move. We kind of hinted about it last night, going to Atlanta, going to Miami, Arizona, a warm weather or a dome team. Now it's kind of point of it's a $270 million man or a $5 million coach, and it looks like, honestly, ownership's like Lamar's our guy. So, guys, let me ask you this question: moving forward, Where does John Harbaugh go? Because obviously John Harbaugh is going to be a very sought-after coach. To Cleveland, maybe to Pittsburgh, maybe to Arizona, Vegas, New York. There's going to be people out there that'll be lined up wanting to get John Gruden's services. And honestly, I think John Gruden is a great coach. He just needed to see, he just needed to get out of his situation, right? Because sometimes when you are in the same situation over and over and over, you just need a fresh scenery, right? You need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and look. Right, here we are. Mike Vrabel is a prime example. So Kenneth says about Lamar, you know what excuses. I have never given Lamar Jackson any excuses whatsoever. I think Lamar Jackson is overrated. I think he's overhyped. And honestly, I think he faked every injury this season, Kenneth. Like, I do not think Lamar Jackson is the man, the myth, the legend. I think much like John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson needs to remove himself from the Baltimore situation or get away from John Harbaugh and go to greener pastures. But now that John Harbaugh is gone, maybe we'll see those greener pastures happen in Baltimore. But we'll see. Kenneth says, whom was brought in for Lamar, and Lamar is still garbage? I think Lamar Jackson is overrated. I 100% agree with you. I think he's overrated. I think he's overhyped. I think he's the worst MVP in NFL history. I don't think he should have won the MVP the year that he said. And he also says bad take. What is the bad take? That every coach in the AFC North needs to be fired? Come on, man. Come on now. John says down the tubes, Harbaugh's system. Harbaugh's system led them to 12, 13 win seasons year after year, right? Todd Monken's play calling last season, was it last season or 2 seasons ago? 40 some odd passes versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I guess that was 2 seasons ago. That's the issue. And Kenneth says won't find anybody better to replace him as head coach. Yes, there is. I guarantee you somebody will go into Baltimore and they will win the AFC North next season. Now, are they winning a Super Bowl next season? Probably not. But with the talent that the Baltimore Ravens have, whether you want to admit it or not, Lamar Jackson is an elite talent. He's not an elite quarterback. He is an elite talent. You put him in the right position, he can lead you to 12, 13, 14, 15 wins in a season. You still have Derrick Henry. We saw what he did against the Green Bay Packers. Man, he ran the ball down the Green Bay Packers' throat. Use them and abuse them. You got 1, maybe 2 years left, for effective years left on those tires. Pound that shit down his throat, right? So when I think of coaches around the league who can come into Baltimore and make an instant impact, look no further than the AFC North. Kevin Stefanski, instant impact, guarantee it. Mike Tomlin could go into Baltimore, instant impact, right? Hell, if you want to take one step further, Brian Flores, probably instant impact as well. But much like the Baltimore Ravens, or much like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens like to thoroughly seek out their coaches. They like to have coaches for the long term. Matter of fact, in Baltimore Ravens history, they only had 3 coaches. All of them have lasted for 12, 13, 14 years. They've been there for a while. Matter of fact, Brian Bellett. I forget his last name. He was the shortest coach there, and he was there for 10 years. So obviously the Ravens are going to do their due diligence, and they're going to get their guy. The question is, who is their guy? My man Shay Fraser's in the chat. What's up, Shay? He says Just Fields can win Baltimore a Super Bowl as a head coach. Justin Fields is not going to be a head coach in Baltimore. Justin Fields is not a top 10 quarterback. Justin Fields is not a top 30 quarterback. Justin Fields is not very good. My man Derek's in the chat says, what up, man hour? What up, Derek? What up? Jim says, is Mendoza a capable talent? Wise to get those 12 wins Vegas under Harbaugh? Listen, I think Mendoza is going to be a decent quarterback in the NFL. Is he going to be elite? Probably not. Is he going to be a top 10 quarterback? Probably not. But with proper pieces around him, i.e. Baker Mayfield, i.e. Trevor Lawrence, i.e. Lamar Jackson, he can win you 12, 13 games. With the draft capital that the Ravens have, with the Raiders have, with the salary cap that the Raiders have, and the potential trade of Max Crosby bringing some more draft capital, the Raiders could very well be a 10, 11, 12 win team with Mendoza and John Harbaugh as their coach. Now, the real question, Jim, Kenneth, Shay, Derek, the rest of the people out there listening today, Bruins Prod, we see you. Does John Harbaugh take a year off? Does he sit back, recalculate, like, man, Raiders, not it. Giants, nah. Arizona Cardinals, mess. Does he take a year off? Do we see how the cookie crumbles? Because honestly, there are a lot of coaching jobs right now that we did not anticipate being open. The Browns, the Ravens, the Falcons. There's going to be a lot of teams out there that all of a sudden like, man, I really like Kevin Stefanski. Brian Schottenheimer, maybe you're not it, my guy. Kevin Stefanski, come on over to Dallas. Or how about old Jets now? Aaron Glenn, we know you're in here for the long haul. You had no interception this season. Offense looked anemic. Defense looked suspect at best. John Harbaugh, come on down, baby. I think we're going to see a lot more dominoes start to fall now that we've seen John Harbaugh get fired. Now that we've seen Raheem Morris get fired. Now that we've seen other coaches that we're not quite expecting get fired. Guys, this offseason, these next few weeks, we're in for a whirlwind of what is going to happen. With that being said, guys, I think the NFL should push all this hiring stuff till after the Super Bowl. Much like the transfer portal in the NCAA, they should wait till after the season, right? But we can get into that to a different day. Kenneth says Flores is a better fit for the Giants. He just needs an offensive coordinator. So what you're saying is Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator, not a good head coach. so, Kenneth, thank you for joining the live stream. I've seen you talk your shit in our post before. I've never seen you in a live stream. So welcome to a live stream, man. But we have gone back and forth many, many times on said situations. Me and Shay have talked personally, right? We've talked to this on the Man Hour. There are certain coaches, certain players, certain organizations that are just better as a secondary guy, right? Such as Brian Flores, not a very good head coach. You can say tanking, whatever in Miami. But the truth of the matter is he's a pretty damn good defensive coordinator in Minnesota. Much like old Josh McDaniels. Not a very good head coach. Great offensive coordinator. Great offensive mind. He's not a great head coach. So I don't think Brian Flores would be a great fit in New York. I'm just throwing it out there. Shay Frazier says Justin Fields, top 10 quarterback and the top 3 coach. I say, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. And Jim Powell says Phillip Rivers will coach the Baltimore Ravens. Jim. Now, I'm old enough. I retain stupid knowledge all the time. And do you guys remember, 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, when the Indianapolis Colts fired their coach midseason? Insert Jeff Saturday, right? No NFL coaching experience, no coordinator experience, no positional coach experience. They're saying, insert Jeff Saturday, you are our head coach. Media, ESPN, Fox, all those guys blew up, lost their minds. How can you hire Jeff Saturday? He doesn't have any experience. He doesn't this, and this, right? Now, Phillip Rivers does have high school head coaching experience. We'll give him that. But he has no NFL coordinator experience, no NFL positional coach experience. I mean, he has obviously playing experience. What makes you think Phillip Rivers will be a good NFL head coach? Why are people not losing their mind about Phillip Rivers being a potential NFL head coach? But they lost their mind with Jeff Saturday. Is it because he's a Christian man with 13 or 12 kids and 6 grandkids and the good old story from Indianapolis? Like, come on. Come on now. Bad take on the Raiders. Got what we're talking about with Raiders. Jim said if Harbaugh takes a year off, he'll end up coaching in North Carolina. maybe Bill Belichick comes to Baltimore. Maybe he does what his brother did, goes to Michigan. Has Michigan hired their head coach yet? Maybe he can go there, win a natty, insert new coach, and the cycle repeats, right? Maybe he does go college. What is that? Propane Gang 2406 says, my guy. What's up? It's Carlos, aka Boomer. What's up, Los? What's going on, my man? Los is we played football, what? Damn near 10 years ago, I think I played my last snap. Los, get some lotion, brother. Get some lotion with those last assy-ass legs of yours. My man. What's up, Los? What's up? Will Lawson says that wide receiver Omar Cooper from Indiana is going to be a star in the NFL. Will? Welcome back to the Slave Machine Show. We haven't seen you in a few weeks. You've been a little MIA. But you know what? I agree with you. Indiana is going to have some studs in the NFL. I think Cooper is going to arguably be one or two or three receivers from this draft class. I think Mendoza is going to have a decent NFL career, 10, 12, 13 years, right? He's not going to be elite. He's not going to be bad. He's going to be right there in the middle. Keep an eye on my man Zen. My man Zen from Floyd Central with the Ohio State, won a natty, now playing left tackle for Indiana. I think he is going to make it the NFL as well. But speaking of Indiana, Will, on the Pigskin Pundits afternoon drive today, we were talking about, of course, this is a members-only stream. If you guys want to join the members-only stream, become a member, hit the subscribe button down below. We were talking about a future of Las Vegas Raiders coach, and I said that the Las Vegas Raiders need to come to Bloomington, Indiana. They need to knock on Coach Sig's door. Pound, 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 pound. What's it going to take you to get you to Vegas? They need to buy him a Lambo. They need to buy him 4 Labradoodles. They need to buy him a bald cat. They need to pay for his trailer. They need to get him 6 packs of Marlboro Reds. They need to do whatever it takes to get that man to Las Vegas. If the Las Vegas Raiders ever want to be good, Coach Sig, what is it going to take you to get here? Oh, you want general manager? John, you out of here. You want part ownership? Tom Brady? Sell your 10% to Coach Sig. You want full control? You want a 15-year guarantee? Sign that man up. Google him, right? Isn't that what he says? Google me. Google the dog. All he does is win. Bring him to Vegas, get him the number 1 overall pick, bring in Mendoza, bada bing, bada boom, with Brock Bowers, with Asin Genti. I believe they got another top 20 pick, if I'm not mistaken. Trade Max Crosby to whoever, the Cowboys. They've also used 2 first-round draft picks. Trade him to the Bengals. They need all the help they can get. You can get value out of Max Crosby. You got 4 first-round draft picks this year with Coach Sig. Ooh, let's go, baby. Let's go. John Peoples is a pigskin pundit. Where's it at?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, I agree. They know too much already. Should be after the Super Bowl. I don't know what you're talking about. George Lucas says, man, my Jets are trash. The Jets, George Lucas, I believe, are fundamentally flawed. They are fundamentally flawed from the top down. Just because you have money, just because you have buying power, you can sell a vacuum, you can be the prime minister of some some United Kingdom country, whatever he is, doesn't mean you should be owner of the New York Football Jets or part owner or majority or whatever he is. The Jets are fundamentally flawed. I don't know how to fix it. I don't want to wish ill will on anybody like my man BC Combs does, wishing Virginia McCaskey's death for the last 3 years. Die. It is kind of ironic that she died, and all of a sudden the Bears are in the playoffs with 11 wins, whatever. But we digress. Woody Johnson does have cancer. I don't know what kind of cancer he has. When you hear the word cancer, you think worst case scenario, death, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I don't know what his cancer looks like or is. Is it colon cancer? Is it skin cancer? I don't know, melanoma. But once Woody Johnson is no longer the owner of the New York football Jets, I think everybody can big sigh of relief. Aaron Glenn at the time, if he's still a coach, who knows, can finally kick up his feet and relax and take a big, wide perspective look. Like, okay, we need this, this, and this. And I think they would have time. The Jets need an organizational shift, and it's coming sooner than later. And then at that time, I think the Jets might be decent. Kenneth says Flores is a defensive-minded coach. He's a good OC to run the offense. He needs a good OC to run the offense. Who's that good OC then? What? So, Kenneth, let's think about this logically. So, guys, let's flash back to the show here about 5-10 minutes ago. Kenneth said Flores to the New York Football Giants would make sense. First of all, I think the Giants are a lot closer than people think. Was it last night we talked about three positions, three coaching jobs that I thought were fairly good. The Raiders, the Giants, and the Falcons. If I had to rate them 1, 2, 3, Falcons are the best team to go to if you are a head coach. Giants are second, and then the Raiders are a distant third, right? So, with that being said, the New York Football Giants have, the third overall pick, fourth overall pick this year's draft. They have a quarterback in place, Jackson Dart. Can Brian Flores get an offensive coordinator or run a scheme to help Jackson Dart? Because obviously Jackson Dart is the man, the myth, the legend in New York right now. You have Cam. Depending on how he comes back, whether he's done partying, running through walls, whatever he's doing, you have a decent running back room with Tracy and Cam. Nice little 1-2 punch there, right? You arguably have a top 10 receiver in the right system in Malik Neighbors. Got the offensive skill positions kind of in place, right? You might need you definitely need a number 2 receiver with offensive line stability, depth per se. Defense, I think you are there. I've seen a lot of mock drafts where they have them drafting like a defensive end or like an edge rusher. I'm like, why? You got Thibodeau, you have Abdul Carter, you have Brian Burns, right? You have a nice little 3-headed monster there, right? But what I'm trying to say is I think the Giants are there. They have all the pieces in place. They need that motivational coach. They need that old head Mike Vrabel type of coach. I don't think Brian Flores is it. I just don't see it in. It's not Kevin Stefanski. It's not Jonathan Gannon. He has been fired, obviously. It's not Raheem Morris. The coach that makes sense to go to New York Football Giants is John Harbaugh. I don't think Brian Flores is a head coach material. Great defense coordinator, great defensive mind. This year, you can say whatever that you want. The truth of the matter is he puts the Minnesota Vikings in position to win this year, and then they just often just failed him, a.k.a. J.J. McCarthy. But I don't think Brian Flores is going to the New York Giants. Kenneth said, never said anything about him being a bad head coach. See the common fan talk. I don't know what you're trying to say, but I'm saying I don't think he's a good head coach. Kenneth says, I always comment that Flores should be a head coach again, and I don't think he should. I think he's a fine defensive coordinator. John People says, John Gruden, third time the charm in Vegas. No. I think John Gruden's going to go to college route. If he ever wants to coach again, I think you'll see him in an SEC school. If you follow, I think it's Barstool Gruden on TikTok or YouTube, he has ultimately said that he wants to go to SEC and coach, whether it's Kentucky or Georgia or LSU, Alabama. He wants to go coach an SEC school. That's just what he wants to do. George Lucas says, sell a team, Woody. Exactly. Sell it. Oh, man, River.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Said Jackson Dart was impressive this year. I agree. I think Jackson Dart definitely jumped off the tape, right? When you watched him, let's take a step back. When you look at Jackson Dart, many people are like, oh, his stats aren't very good. He has a lot of interceptions, a lot of touchdowns. I think he's about like a 6% completion percentage. Look beyond the stats. Go watch the tape of Jackson Dart. When you watch the tape of Jackson Dart, he jumps off at the tape at you. Me as a football coach, when I watch film, I just sit back and watch, right? I kind of just have a broad vision, kind of just watching everybody. You watch about 4, 5, 6 plays, you will see 1, 2, 3 people always jump off at the screen at you, right? They may not be making every play, every pass, like every tackle, but they're doing things right, and they jump off at the tape. Jackson Dart jumps off at the tape, jumped off the film at you, and yes, I agree. He's had a very, very impressive year. Is he going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? No. I do not think that. Is he going to win a league MVP? No. Could he lead the Giants to the Super Bowl with the supporting cast? Yes. But he will not be an elite, like the GOAT or the greatest of all time or top 5 and all this stuff. Like, he'll be a nice, solid, mediocre quarterback that jumps off that film at you. Much like Dak Prescott. Will Olson says, do you think Lamar is going to stay in Baltimore? Will, I believe it was section 3 today. I mean, so we're totally going off a script here. We're just shooting the shit right now. What was it? It was segment 4. We were going to talk about Lamar Jackson today. Last night, I had to give my man Carson Lane credit. Carson, I believe it was back in, Carson, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was September, October. Carson texted me, he says, bold take. I bet you Lamar Jackson ends up in a warm weather city. At the time, he was saying Miami. Carson, correct me if I'm wrong. Carson is my boy from back in Kansas, right? Now that John Harbaugh has been fired, I do not think Lamar Jackson is going anywhere. If John Harbaugh would have continued to be the coach for the Baltimore Ravens, I do think we would have heard rumblings and offers to move Lamar Jackson. Whether it was to Miami or to Atlanta or Arizona or Minnesota, there was going to be some type of change, yes. But now that John Harbaugh is gone, no. The writing is on the wall. Lamar Jackson is there to stay. Now, the reason that I say that is because we have heard grumblings. I've read rumors. I've talked to people within equipment managers' rooms because I know the equipment manager from the Indianapolis Colts, and all the managers talk, and I've gotten contacts, but they ultimately have openly said that Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh simply don't like each other. They are cordial at work. They will communicate as needed, but they will not go out of their way like, hey man, how's your day? How's your wife? How's your kids? Hey, I saw you at the food truck high as a kite. What did you eat? It is strictly business between John Harbaugh and Lamar. And I think that rift was starting to show. That's why Lamar Jackson was, quote, injured a lot this season. Because when things got a little bit tough, John said, hey, I need you to step up. I need you to do this, this, and this. And like, oh, shit, my back hurts. Oh, my quad hurts. Oh, my hammy. I'm just saying, like, but I do think Lamar Jackson is there to stay. But John says 1 year and then traded my guess for Lamar. No. Because the ownership is sold in on Lamar. Right? Lamar is their prize jewel. Lamar is a league MVP. Lamar is a 13 game winner when healthy year after year after year. Lamar is probably going to have a lot of say of who the next coach is. It is going to be a system that fit Lamar Jackson's style. RPO, scramble, deep passes. Because we all know that Lamar Jackson is an elite athlete. We also all know that Lamar Jackson has problem throwing short to intermediate passes. So what does that tell you? Deep ball throws, run the ball. That's the type of offense that they're going to do. No short dinking and dunking, very little RPO, deep shots, hand the ball off with a little bit of scrambling. And you know who does that well? Jonathan Gannon does that well. Well, tries to do that well. But I think Lamar Jackson's there for another 8 years. Because 8 years. Dart is very competitive. That's the wow factor. John, let's flack bash to Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is very competitive. Jackson Dart likes to attempt to run the ball down your throat. Jackson Dart likes to think he's in high school, hell, even in college. The point is, Jackson Dart needs to start to protecting himself. Jackson Dart needs to start to understand, like, hey, I need to be on the field every time the offense is out there. I can't bleed in the blue tent. I can't be out of the game because of concussion. I can't be out of the game because of a sore shoulder. Right? We're going to see a change in Jackson Dart next season. We're going to see him more of a pocket quarterback, I think, moving forward with rolling left and right, but not what we saw this year. Jordan Lucas says, Wink or Rex DC for the Jets. Now, obviously, I have not watched ESPN for a very, very long time. Matter of fact, I think the last time I watched ESPN Get Up, was it Get Up? Just the first show before for First Take. I think it's called Get Up. About this time last year, Rex Ryan was lobbying, saying, hey, I could be the Jets head coach. I could be the Jets head coach. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I don't think he even got an interview. I think Rex Ryan is well past being any type of efficient coach. Wink is the Ravens head defense coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he get fired? I'm not for sure. But if I am the New York Football Jets, I'm going a young Mike McDonald type of guy. I'm looking for an up-and-coming guy. Kelvin Shepard from the Detroit Lions come to mind. Trying to think of another positional coach that is doing good things. I would say my man Michael Wilhoit, but he's in jail for beating up a cop. But, you know. Packers fan Iowa 1251 says, go, Pack, go. I'm going to say slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. But, guys, let's get into some today's segments. We are not going to talk about the first couple segments that we've been through. We're going to talk a little thing called Overreaction Tuesday. Let me get the music. Let's start the thing rolling. Where's it at? There we at.
It's Tuesday morning, the coffee's hot. Hot takes flying like a last-minute shot. They say he's washed, they say he's gold. Every week's a legend or a story untold. He's the GOAT, no, he's a fraud. A single play, they applaud or applaud. Overreaction Tuesday. Big swings, small plays. One snap changes fate. Overreaction Tuesday. The crowd or the gate, no middle, just a fade.
All right, Man Hour Nation, it is time for Overreaction Tuesday. And if you guys are new here, let me break this day down for you. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw out some hot takes, a bold statement, a 10 reaction that happened across the NFL world. And so it's up for us to decide whether it's an overreaction or if it's actually spot on. If we think it's an overreaction, we just call it out. We just say, whoa, slow it down, baby. That's a little too much. It's all about down the back, seeing things with a little bit more perspective. But if we think Buck is actually legit, if it's actually spot on, and we agree we're going to roll, then we say, you know what? It's not a reaction. Buck, that's reality, and here's why. So, guys, we're going to throw out some big takes, and let's see if you're jumping on the bandwagon or if we're all just overreacting. All right, guys. So the first Overreaction Tuesday here on a Tuesday afternoon on the Man Hour NFL Talk, guys, is it an overreaction to say that the Seattle Seahawks are the most overrated team in the NFC playoffs? Chet, I want you to immediately get into this one. Are the Seahawks legit Super Bowl threats, or are they just fool's gold? Are they fugazi? Guys, drop it down in the comments down below. Now, let's get into it. Now, I understand why the Seahawks are getting so much love. I understand why people are putting them in the Super Bowl. Let's start with their resume, because on paper, guys, Seattle Seahawks look unstoppable. Their 14-3 record. Whew, very, very nice. They're number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Super Bowl odds are sitting near the top. I think they're at 30% odds to make the Super Bowl. A defense that allows second fewest points in the NFL. Mike McDonald's defense has been elite. Second fewest points allowed. 9 of the last 12 opponents held only 20 points. League's best run defense at 3.7 yards per carry. No 100-yard rusher allowed in 20 straight games. And the list includes Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, and of course, Christian McCaffrey. Those are real numbers. That defense is real. And that's exactly why people are buying into it. But this is the problem that nobody wants to talk about. Here's the reality that nobody wants to talk about, because on the other side of the ball, Seattle turns the ball over like crazy. 28 giveaways this season, second most in the NFL. Sam Darnold alone has given the ball away 20 times, 14 interceptions, 6 lost fumbles. Now, that's not a typo. That's not nitpicking. This is playoff suicide. You can get away with against bad teams. You can get away with September and October. You cannot get away with that in January. And it gets worse. Seattle starts slow consistently. They fall behind consistently. They rely on divas to bail them out. They wait until the second half to find the rhythm. That's not formula. That's when you're facing the Rams, the 49ers, or even a hot Packers team if they get hot again. Yes, the run defense is suffocating. Yes, the defense alone is suffocating. The scheme is brilliant. The numbers back it up. But this defense is built to stop the run first. Playoff teams know that. Hell, the NFL is starting to know that. Strong passing attacks that are willing to challenge tight windows can stress this unit quickly. Quarterbacks who trust receivers can move the ball. And if Seattle's offense puts them back on the field repeatedly because of turnovers, even elite defenses start to crack. Guys, defense alone does not win Super Bowls anymore. Balance does. Let's compare teams in the NFC. The Rams are more complete offensively. The 49ers are more creative schematically. The Packers, they can get hot at any given time. Hell, even the Carolina Panthers play cleaner football. Seattle might host any of them, and while the home field advantage helps, it does not protect you from mistakes. This is not a dominant number 1 seed. This is a flawed team wearing a shining record. So guys, no, I do not think this is an overreaction. I think the Seattle Seahawks are the most overrated team in the NFC playoffs. Elite defense? Absolutely. Championship caliber offense? No. Too many turnovers, too many slow starts, too much pressure on Sam Darnold to suddenly become mistake-free football in January. Seattle Seahawks can win a game. Hell, they can even win 2 games, but the hype suggests dominance. And the film says vulnerability. That gap of a team is overrated. But Man Hour Nation, do you trust the Seattle Seahawks to protect the football and make a real Super Bowl run? Or do you think they get exposed the moment they face a complete team? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/Man Hour. Packers fan Iowa says, we about to make the Bears look silly. Packers fan Iowa, stay tuned because we're talking about the Green Bay Packers next. Actually, the Chicago Bears next, but then it falls in the back. But yeah, right. And Dallies says Seattle Seahawks easy. Seahawks easy what? Seahawks easy what? They are easily overrated. Yes. They're easily overhyped. Yes. Can they easily win a game? Yes. So what are you talking about easily? I'm confused about that. Packers fan Iowa says fools gold fugazi, we like to say. I agree. Much like the Chicago Bears. Much like the Carolina Panthers. Much like the San Francisco 49ers. John says the Bears defense is looking good, though. We'll talk about the Bears. Slow it down, baby. Dulazila. Am I saying that right? Dulat Zil. Hawks overachieved with turnover Sam. I agree 100%. I agree 100% because I said this on Facebook. Is it Saturday? I can't remember when the Seahawks and 49ers played. Was it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. Either way, right? The winner of that game was going to get the number 1 overall seed, and the loser was going to get like the 6th seed, right? That's what it comes down to. Much like the Vikings and Lions last season. And what happened last season? I said the Vikings were going to be one and done. I said the Lions were going to be one and done, and they both were one and done. I was like, man, we have two teams battling for the first overall seed. Granted, they're not 14-win teams, 13-win teams at the particular time. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Are we going to see the winner get the number 1 overall seed? Are we going to see the loser get a 6th overall seed? And they'll both be one and done. Guys, I can see the Seahawks and 49ers both being one and done this season. Much like the Vikings and Lions last season. And I think Sam Darnold is going to... Listen, Sam Darnold has two ways, right? He's either going to be lights out, MVP, the greatest quarterback of this generation game, or he's going to flat out suck. He is not going to have that average, mediocre game managing type of game that he can do to win games. He's either going to be elite or really bad. And honestly, I'm leaning more toward the bad side, but we will see. It says, yes, defense is great, but the quarterback sucks. Do lot, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. John Peoples is a pigskin pun. Where's that at?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
John says, exactly. On paper, sounds like Lamar choking the playoffs. We'll talk about more Lamar Jackson tomorrow, because I don't think Lamar actually choked in the playoffs. I think a lot of it was John Harbaugh. That's turnover Sam, baby. Do a lot, you're right. Will Olson says, healthy Rams team are better than the Seahawks, and I agreed, Will. I agree. Matter of fact, my preseason Super Bowl pick was the LA Rams. The minute they got Devontae Adams, I'm like, this team's a Super Bowl team. They got Puka. They got Kyron Williams. They got Matthew Stafford. They got a defense. They got a verse that's playing lights out. Aaron Donald, who? Right? The Rams are a very, very good team if they're healthy. How efficient is Devontae Adams going to be? I know he's had 2 weeks off. See how good he actually is. Packers fan, Iowa says, Bears have to come. Bears, here we come. Seattle next. Slow it down, baby. Special teams wins championships. Correct. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They do it. They do it. But guys, let's talk about the Chicago Bears. Let's talk about those Chicago Bears. Guys, is it an overreaction to say the Chicago Bears will be one and done in the playoffs? Chat, I want to hear from you immediately. Do the Bears win a playoff game, or is this run ending right away? Drop your takes in the comments down below, and let's talk about it. Guys, let's set the table for you, right? Let's roll out the dining room table, pull out the tablecloth, a little bit of plates here, a little bit of forks on the right, spoon on the left, whatever, right? Guys, the Bears finished the regular season 11-6. NFC North champions. They're hosting a playoff game, and just not any opponent. They get to host the Green Bay Packers again in a wild card game at home. On surface, this sounds like momentum, but playoff football is all about matchups, not vibes. Now, let's be fair first, right? The Chicago Bears offense is legit. Caleb Williams has proven he can go toe-to-toe with anyone. Week 17 shootout loss to the San Francisco 49ers showed the Chicago that they can score with elite teams. And the Bears have something rare. They don't have panic late. Sorry, they do not panic late. They have 6 wins this season when they're trailing the final 2 minutes. Most in the NFL season since the merger. That's clutch. That is confidence. And that is why people believe this team is dangerous. Add in elite pass protection, best pass blocking win rate in the NFL, longest average time to throw, and this is why Caleb Williams has taken a massive step forward his sophomore year. If games stay close, the Bears always have a puncher's chance. But here's the problem that nobody wants to admit in Chicago. Here comes the uncomfortable part. This Bears defense is leaking oil at the worst possible time. Since week 16, they have allowed 1,313 yards. They rank 31st in pass win rate entering week 18. Only 4 sacks in the final 3 games. This defense survives on takeaways. They led the league with 33 forced turnovers, including 23 interceptions. But here's the truth. When the turnovers don't come, this defense gets exposed. Bend don't break football in January is playing with fire. You miss 1 interception, you fail to get pressure once, and suddenly you're done. Guys, this is why the Green Bay Packers matchup is very, very dangerous. Yes, the Bears and Packers split the season series. Yes, Chicago won the most recent one in overtime, but divisional games in the playoffs are different. Green Bay knows Caleb's, they know his tendencies, they know where the defense is vulnerable. And if the Packers protect the football even just a little bit, this becomes a very uncomfortable game for Chicago. This is not a mismatch. This is a coin flip at best. So, guys, no, this is not an overreaction. Saying the Bears could be a one-done and the playoff is completely fair. They are dangerous. They are resilient. They are well-coached. But their defense is a little bit shaky. Their pass rush is almost non-existent. And they rely too heavily on turnovers to survive. That formula can win you games in November. Hell, it can win you games in September and October. But it gets you at home in January. Guys, the Bears are ahead of schedule. This is not a failure. It's a part of the process. But expecting a deep run right now? I think that's asking a little bit too much. But Man Our Nation, do you trust the Bears defense enough to win a playoff game? Or is the season ending against Green Bay Packers? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to hear from you, Bears fans. Of course, Packers fans as well. And of course, all the skeptics. Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time right here, youtube.com/Man Hour. Packers fan Iowa 1251 says it's over for Chicago. Get them out of here. You know what's great about this matchup? Is literally both games this regular season came down to the final play. Interception in the end zone by Nixon the first time around was at week 15, 16. Obviously, overtime win, week 17 or whatever it was. I can't remember. But you know what's oddly weird about this whole game? Packers fan Iowa. Packers fan from Iowa. That's kind of cool. That both of these last teams' wins came against each other. Packers' last win was against the Bears. The Bears' last win was against the Packers. For all the marbles, baby. All the marbles. John says, depend on who they draw. What are you talking about, who they draw? What are you talking about? The Packers and Bears play, was it Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon? They know who they play. If the Packers win, they play the Seahawks the next round. If the Bears win, they don't play the Seahawks till the championship game. John says the Bears beat the Packers 31-27. Derek says Swift healthy 100% yet? I'm not sure. Let's just be honest. It's January. Nobody in the NFL right now is 100%. Even the kicker's not 100%. It's all about war of attrition at this particular point. Swift will be on the field. Swift will get his bread. Packers fan says, we shall see. We will shall see. Will says the Packers should win if Jordan Love plays the entire game. And spoiler alert, Will, Malik Willis will not be playing in the wild card game. He's officially been benched. Insert backup quarterback Jordan Love. So hopefully, we are seeing some things here. But guys, Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers sneaked into the playoffs by a Falcons win last Sunday. But guys, is it an overreaction to say the Carolina Panthers are the most dangerous team in the NFC playoffs? Shaq, get involved right away. Do you buy the Panthers are a legit playoff threat, or is this hype getting a little bit out of hand? Drop your takes in the comments down below. Now let's break this wine. Now, let's answer this question. Why does this question even exist? Guys, let's start with the basics. The Panthers are a losing team. They're 8-9. They snuck into the playoffs. Super Bowl odds are 150-1. FPI gives them a 2% chance to make the Super Bowl. On paper, this does not scream dangerous. But here's the twist. They're hosting the LA Rams in a wild card round. They've already beaten the Rams 31-28 earlier this season in Charlotte. That matters a lot. This is not a team walking in the playoff blind. They know exactly who they're facing. And Bryce Young factor is real. Everything with Carolina starts and ends with Bryce Young. When Bryce Young is clean and takes care of football, the Packers can hang with anybody. We've seen it. Wins over the Rams. Wins over the Packers. When he does not need to be perfect, he just needs to avoid mistakes. And that's why teams don't love facing Carolina. Carolina shortens the game. They run the ball. They limit possessions. They force you to play their style of football. That makes them very uncomfortable to play against. But let's talk about the inconsistencies. The Panthers team is widely inconsistent. They're basically won every other week since mid-October. Bryce Young has been all over the map. A career low, 54 passing yards in week 17, and then earlier this season, 448 yards against Atlanta. Then he had a 13.7 total QBR versus the San Francisco 49ers right after that. This is not a trend. This is a roller coaster, and the roller coasters do not survive in January. Now, why the most dangerous is a stretch? Because it is. Yes, the Carolina Panthers are tough. Yes, they run the ball better than most. Yes, they can muddy up a game and drag you into the deep end. But the most dangerous in the NFC playoffs? That title belongs to a team that can beat you multiple ways. Teams that are consistent. Teams that don't need everything to go perfectly. The Panthers need Bryce Young to be right version. They need the defense to hold up. They need the run game to control the tempo. That is a lot of ifs. Guys, this is an overreaction. The Panthers are annoying to play. They are uncomfortable to play. They are capable of an upset, but the most dangerous team in the NFC playoffs? No. Their inconsistency is too great. Their margin of error is too small. And relying on the right version of Bryce Young showing up every week is not a playoff plan. They can win a game. They can scare someone, but calling the most dangerous team is going a little too far. But Man Hour Nation, do you think the Panthers can knock off the Rams again? Or does this Cinderella story end quickly? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Will says the Rams will blow them out. 41-17. What? Yeah, I'll be there in 1 second, okay, buddy? John People says, what college did Bryce Young go again? I believe it was the same school that Indiana Hoosiers rolled up and threw him out in the Tide. I'm just playing with you, but he went to Alabama. He did go to Alabama. But guys, that is going to be it for tonight's show, guys. A little improv to start the show. A little Overreaction Tuesday. Seahawks, one and done. Chicago Bears, one and done. Carolina Panthers, one and done. Those are the 1, 2, 3 picks for my supercar, or just for Overreaction Tuesday, whatever, guys. But until then, guys, this has been live. It's been raw. It's been uncut. See you guys tomorrow. 7 p.m. East Coast time. We out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's